Hi, I'm Jenelle Riley. I love to interview people and I will not let the quarantine stop me. So, welcome to Virtually Together. Today's guest is, really one of my favorite actors, Paul Walter Hauser. He is so extremely talented. He's also just one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So, let's get right to it. Hi, I'm Jenelle Riley. Welcome to Virtually Together. Today I get to talk to somebody one of the few people who had a really good 2019. I don't think it was a great year for everyone, but Paul Walter Hauser gave an amazing performance in Clint Eastwood's Richard Jewell. You've probably seen him in, God, so many other things. In fact, let me just start by asking you, when people see you on the street, what's the thing they most want to talk to you about?
Usually they just remind me of the restraining order, and it's just, them kind of checking and making sure that I've kept my own social distancing, which I've been doing for a long time pre-pandemic. Yeah.
No, but I know, Tonya, I know, was a huge turning point for you.
Yeah, my reps were on the phone with me, and they're like, this is the first thing you've done that people will have to see. Even if they don't want to see it, they're going to want to be able to talk about it with everybody else. So whether it was going to be a classic or a dud, I knew I was in a movie that would make some noise, and it made good noise, thank God. But I don't really get stopped for I, Tonya much. I was pretty deep into character there. I get stopped a lot more for, right now, Richard Jewell, because it's out on streaming and stuff, and people are watching it. But Cobra Kai, I did that TV show Cobra Kai. I get stopped for that as much as anything, maybe more. Yeah.
That's so great to hear, because that is such a great show and a great character. And, sometimes you think something was made just for you and you don't know if other people are watching it too.
Yeah, you never know. Cobra Kai, I saw season 1 of, and what was funny was that I really didn't know anything about that world of Karate Kid, and I felt bad going into the meeting. I'm like, these guys are going to be I'm going to be so underwhelming. And then I watched the show and I was like, holy shit, it's incredible. Like they've done so much with Cobra Kai that like no one could ever do with it. Like they've made it its own world.
I mean, and when you first heard the premise, which is, all these years after Karate Kid, it's the same people from Karate Kid. I mean, did you know it would work?
No, a lot of the things I've done, I mean, let's rattle them off. I did a show called Kingdom where when they pitched that to me, they said, it's a MMA show on DirecTV with Nick Jonas. And I went, what? DirecTV makes stuff and Nick Jonas is acting and there's never been a show about MMA. I, Tonya sounded like it was going to be like a Lifetime movie, like it was going to be a joke. And then I read it and I was like, this is incredible. BlacKkKlansman, the idea of a black guy going undercover with the KKK. I was like, am I going to be in this movie that people are like picketing? Like, what the hell? Topher Grace is playing David Duke. What the hell is going on? So yeah, and then Cobra Kai is another thing where it felt like it could have been a dud, and it was literally one of the best things I've ever gotten to be a part of. So you never know. If I can give any advice to actors out there, like even if something sounds wonky or weird, like you might want to just work and prove your talent in whatever you do, because you never know what it's going to turn out to be.
Now, something I think is really cool, I just get to drop a name here. I got to meet Clint Eastwood during the Richard Jewell tour. In fact, he sent me the nicest note. But you didn't have to audition for that part, did you?
No, somebody showed Clint a photo of me next to Richard Jewell. And he just thought we looked a lot alike and kind of pulled the trigger. They showed him some of my footage. They showed him scenes from Kingdom and I, Tonya, and I think he had seen BlacKkKlansman and I, Tonya, but didn't remember me. So, yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy.
But those characters are, Richard Jewell is such a fascinating person, but also such an interesting character because he's the flip side of Sean Eckhart from I, Tonya. He's the innocent, nice version of that guy.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that. I get a little low stakes perturbed when I hear people say that I've played the same guy in every movie or show. I think they're just responding to the fact that, I play a lot of loudmouth idiots, or I play a lot of like ne'er-do-wells. But the reality is, like, those guys are totally different. Like,
Oh, totally different.
The stuff he talked about, Richard could do some of it and had a really good conscience, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and I remember, you know, his family, his mother came out for the premiere, and the character that Sam Rockwell plays and his wife also came out. And I mean, I know in the case of I, Tonya, the person you were playing was also already deceased, but when you have Richard's actual family there, I can't imagine the pressure on you.
Yeah, that was heavy, you know. The worst has already happened. Their son and friend passed away. You know, it's not going to get worse than that. And I think they felt like they were in good hands with Clint and Warner Brothers and you know, Kathy playing Bobby Jewell. I mean, I'm sure Bobby. I'm not saying she's a film aficionado. It's not like Bobby Jewell is watching Cassavetes or something, but like she's probably seen Misery and Waterboy or Titanic. Like, she definitely knows who Kathy Bates is. So I think it was a good moment for her to be like, oh, you're really honoring my son in the story just by virtue of who's assigned a job on the film, you know?
Yeah, she was so wonderful. I did find the note from Clint. It's very short and sweet. I don't know if you can actually read it. I'll screen grab it and send it to you. But it was just thanking me for doing the Q&A. And like, I just thought, what a class act. Like, he doesn't need to do that. He's Clint Eastwood.
No, it's genuine. He also, people don't understand, like, Clint loves people. He does love people. He'll take an interest in other people and ask them questions and dive deep into storytelling. There were days on set where I never felt like I was starring in the movie because I was surrounded by such good actors and like it's Clint Eastwood. So I would very sort of like trepidatiously ask Clint questions about the business, and I'd be afraid to ask him questions. But the moment I did, he'd talk for 20 minutes.
Really?
He'd give me like a free film school lesson on the fly. It was really cool.
I ran into him at the AFI luncheon because Richard Jewell was named one of the top 10 films.
You were
of the
there.
year.
Yeah, that was fun.
I was not allowed in the room. I was out in the lobby.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. That's where I got to meet. I had never met Brad Pitt or DiCaprio, and we sat right next to them. I was like,
you're kidding.
Holy shit.
I'm surprised you haven't worked with them yet. I feel like you've worked with everyone. You're kind of the new Kevin Bacon.
I'll take that. By the way, I think I was a few drinks deep, but I saw Kevin Bacon at the CAA party, one of those industry things. And I saw him and Kira walk by, and I stopped them, and I just go, hey, man, just want to say, huge fan. I love Barry Levinson's Diner. Like, you're the man, dude. Shook his hand. They definitely had no idea who I was, and were just like, oh, thank you. Yeah, we're trying to leave the party now. Goodbye. But yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. I love Kevin Bacon.
Well, when I ran into Clint at the AFI luncheon, the thing that he seemed most tickled about was what a great time you were having. Like, he was like, this has been so much fun to just watch Paul and all these people, like, either, I don't want to say discovering, because I think most people knew who you were at that point, but, you know, just watching them embrace you and how much fun you were having.
I tried to. Yeah, I really tried to. I think there's there's multiple ways you can go about that type of setting. And I didn't want to be in my head. I didn't want to be worrying about award season. I just kind of wanted to walk through the, as Quentin Tarantino would say, walk through the wax museum with a pulse. And that's kind of what it was. You know, I got to talk to some of my heroes, and what was cool was there were a couple of people I would talk to who would have like real conversations, because a lot of them are drive-by, and you know this, you're at these events where like you want to chat with somebody, but it's, you know, it's 18 seconds. But I had some like really good conversations with people I admire where they like, because I hate doing small talk. So like I'm always pushing people into deeper relational conversation. And I was really surprised at how many people were down to like talk about life or family or faith or politics. And it was a really cool, eye-opening experience. It was awesome.
Aside from Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, who are tough to top, was there someone during this season that you really wanted to meet that you got to that was really special?
Oh yeah, who did I? Um, you know
You got
what?
to dance with Sam Rockwell, so.
Oh God, Sam's the best. You know what? Sam's introduced me to a lot of people, and I'm that way too. Where like if I make friends with someone, I'm quick to sort of introduce them to all my other friends, and Sam is like that too. So through Sam Rockwell, I became buddies with Justin Long and Vince Vaughn and Peter Billingsley and all these people, which is really cool. I would say the person that I hit it off with a lot that I got to meet during award season was I got to visit SNL with Emma Stone, and that was crazy. Like she was there because she's hosted like 5 times or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just went as her guest one night, and it was weird because I love Saturday Night Live. It's like in my bones, and showing up there and having Lorne Michaels and a couple people ask me about Clint and about the movie, and it was weird that they even kind of knew who I was. It was crazy. That was nuts.
I predict within the next 3 years you will host Saturday Night Live, so they definitely will know.
Oh God, I hope so. I think Emma already, a couple drinks in, she already pitched me to Lorne, and I think I have to have a big moment because like SNL, like you have to have that moment. Like athletes do it, but only after they've like won a championship,
Well, I know you shot Cruella with Emma Stone, which reunited you with Craig, the director of I, Tonya.
Sorry, I just have to point out, I'm double fisting coffee.
I have to point out, I'm also double fisting.
I have a cafe con leche from La Mill in Silver Lake, and a cup of like K-Cup Keurig bullshit.
Or do you have somewhere to be today? Why the need for caffeine?
No, I've been in this like haze where like because of the pandemic, I just decided to smoke a lot of weed the last couple weeks. So I'm sort of just like, I'm really trying to wake up my brain a little bit because I haven't had to be around people, which is fun and not fun. It's scary.
Oh yeah, actually, I need to thank you because you're the reason I showered this morning. You can fall into these habits where you don't really take care of yourself, and I was like, oh, I actually kind of should probably have clean hair. So you're welcome, everyone, and thank you.
Hey, you look great. I look like the ghost of Christmas past right now. I don't hasty and unshowered. I look like Brendan Gleeson's left testicle. This is not good.
So I know you've shot Cruella, the Cruella DeVille origin story, I guess, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be a great movie. It might be the best movie I've done because I think it'll just be a really hearty meal when people see the film. I mean, the production design, Disney spared no expense. The costume design is just next level, like maybe getting nominated level with the costumes, and then the acting. I mean, we have Kirby Howell-Baptiste, Mark Strong, Joel Fry, Emma Thompson, Emma Stone. Like it's and even the bit players are people you've seen in stuff who are just killers. So I think that combined with Craig Gillespie being Craig Gillespie, it could be a really dope movie. I'm really like high hoped about it.
Are you do you play her henchman in that movie?
Yeah, using the word henchman loosely, yeah.
Okay.
It's Chris and Jasper, the dog catcher guys.
Oh, okay. So it actually is an existing character. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And what else? I think did you shoot another movie with Spike Lee?
I did To Five Bloods. I shot To Five Bloods with Spike, and it was a crazy experience. It's like a Vietnam story, and you have this group of friends who almost like treasures the Sierra Madre, where you're like there for a reason, but you kind of get derailed and the friendships get tested, and it's an intense movie. We have Isaiah Whitlock Jr. from The Wire.
Love him.
Clark Peters from The Wire. Delroy Lindo, who's like a freaking G. He's one of the great supporting actors ever. Jonathan Majors, who I have a talent crush on.
So good.
San Francisco. And then Norm Lewis, who's like I think like a Tony-nominated Broadway star. So I'm definitely, my talent is dwarfed in this movie, which you'll see. I'm surrounded by killers, but I think it'll be cool. I think it was supposed to go to a festival, but the whole thing's on pause now because of the pandemic. I have no clue what the film is going to do outside of it's a Netflix movie, so they could drop it tomorrow if they wanted to.
And not tell you. Well, before we go, I'm actually curious, what are you doing during this time to sort of stay sane? I know you're a wrestling fan. I imagine that helps. Although, are they still having matches? I guess they're not.
So there's two companies I watch, AEW, which is on TNT. And then there's another one, WWE, which everybody knows. They're doing like empty arena shows where they're having 2 to 6 people fight at the same time, but there's no audience, which is weird. I've been watching wrestling. I've been reading screenplays. I'm trying to find the next project. I've read some good ones and I've read some awful ones. I'm writing a screenplay. I'm writing my directorial debut. I was so inspired by Bo Burnham and Greta Gerwig and Jordan Peele and all these people. I really want to direct a film that I write. And just like praying, I'm a big Jesus guy. I'm praying a lot. I'm smoking a lot of weed. I'm doing yoga. I'm binge watching The Americans. I had never seen it, the FX show. So between petitioning my God and smoking some weed and watching the beautiful Kerry Russell and Matthew Rhys, it's been more of a vacay than a pandemic. I'm pretty happy right now.
What's the first thing you're going to do when, the quarantine is lifted?
The moment the quarantine's lifted, I'm gonna be praying for all the people that need to level up again, because there's going to be a serious backlash of folks who aren't going to have the resources to come back, and the government's going to need to help out, I think. So I'm going to pray for those folks and hopefully jump back on set somewhere and play another scary, weird character actor white dude.
Well, I can't wait. I love all your scary character actor white dudes, and I find them all very different, for the record.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And by the way, I had someone attack me on Twitter months back. I did a stand-up set, and this woman took, and by the way, there's a reason I don't do stand-up anymore. It's horrible and impossible. But there was a woman who attacked me over nothing.
I kind of remember this.
This woman in New York freaked out about me and said something awful and scathing about me on Twitter. And you came to my aid and totally shut her down and said something really sweet. So I just want to say, in the world of Twitter, where people complain about how mean people like you are a joy. So thank you.
Oh my God. Well, what's so funny about that is I would never respond to somebody who was attacking me. I just ignore or block them. But you attack somebody else and I get really upset.
Yeah, I love it. I would never start a bar fight. But if somebody put their hands on like a loved one or a buddy of mine or even one of my agents or something, I'd like tackle them through a glass window. Yeah.
All right. Good to know. When this quarantine is over, let's go to a bar.
Let's do it. I'm in.
And I'll start a fight.
Oh, you know what? Quick tip, quick life hack during the pandemic. A bar called the Umbrella Company off Melrose is doing deliveries on their craft cocktails. So you can buy a big thing of like mezcal, margarita, or old fashioned, and have it dropped off to your home via DoorDash or Postmates.
That's
so
amazing.
If you're looking to have a night out while you're in, check out Umbrella Company. I do not work for them, but I'm like totally giving my pitch for this place. It's amazing.
Well, they should send you a few boxes.
I wish they would.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties. I really appreciate you rolling with it, and I look forward to seeing whatever you do next.
Love you guys. Thanks for having me. Happy pandemic.